How are you doing, Bryan?
I'm doing great. How about yourself, Jose?
Honestly, so right now, I'm gonna give I'm gonna give my little thing real quick. Right now, I feel so crappy. This week it's been insane. There's a lot of stuff going on, but it's not about me. This episode, it's about you. Right now, everything's it's a little different. You're my first remote guest, so right now we have a different view. But camera right over here, if I'm doing this correctly, we'll see what happens on the edit and the post. Everything should look nice and clean. Hopefully the audio's good. I think I will check that. We got, the intro should already passed. So hopefully I could get this going. But I'm very excited because, same thing, first remote. And I wanted to branch out. Actually, I wanted to branch out to get like other people, not just like in my town, or not even just South Dakota, but just branch out more. You contacted me a while back and we were trying to set up everything. And I really wish we could have done this in person. Unfortunately, because you're going to be here in Yankton next week and that would have been perfect. The bad scheduling, I'm going to be out of the country for the 7th through the 14th. And I was like, this sucks, but this is the other way.
Yeah.
But
yeah, where out of the country are you traveling to?
So we're gonna head to the Dominican Republic. Me, my wife, and my
nice.
kid. It's the first time we do we're doing like a mission trip. But I'm not spreading the word, nothing like that. What I'm doing what we're gonna do is, there's a lady that works at an organization. She's a chef, and they've been asking if we could go up there, fix, do little projects, build a kitchen. Apparently, I was like, hey, I don't know anything about building, but I could help out if I can. So that's the game plan.
Well, that sounds amazing. Yeah, if I wasn't a musician, I think I'd want to be doing some kind of like volunteering work to like help communities in need. So that's awesome.
But then now that you mentioned it already, because usually I always ask, and you already said it, but I always ask, what do you do?
So I am a traveling musician from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I just travel the U.S. and the world, and I play music pretty much anywhere where I can find where they're interested to have me perform.
How did you get this gig? Like actually, no, I want to start from the beginning because this is something I always ask. Like, did you always want to be a musician, or like, how did all this start?
Well, I've music's been my main thing since I was a teenager. Before that, my dream was to be a comedian. But some people say some of my songs are funny, so I've kind of like blended the two of them in a way. So, but yeah, since I was a teenager, I first heard the Beatles' White album, and between that and Nirvana's Nevermind, those two albums just made me decide, well, this is what I want to do with my life.
What kind of, because I was listening to your music and also listened to on YouTube, and I'm not saying this because, you're my guest, but actually, I actually do like it. It's a type of, correct me if I'm wrong, it's rock, but what would you call that genre? Or is it just like rock?
I like to just call it rock and roll. It's definitely, I hear from people that it's pretty unique. I don't think there's a lot of other songwriters out there doing what I'm doing. But yeah, the short answer is I like to just call it rock and roll, but it's definitely, I've kind of put my own stamp on it. And I think that's why a lot of audiences have been very interested, just because what I'm doing is something a little different than the usual people that, travel around and play music.
How did you get to your start, like on your first, like on stage or first tour, or like, I'm just so curious because I haven't, like here, I've talked to people that play like music, mostly like, for example, at the university or like a little concert, but nothing like you, like, hey, going to like on stage and then playing a guitar and traveling, like what's it like? What is it like?
Oh, you know what? It's really exciting. It's great getting to just go from city to city, state to state, country to country, and play music and meeting all the new people, getting to try all the different kinds of food everywhere I play. It's definitely great, but it is also like a lot of work. Like, I mean, this is all I do, so I try to put 100% into everything, and I'm As a matter of fact, right now I got done with an afternoon show. I'm in Charleston, West Virginia right now.
Oh, snap.
Slowly making my way to South Dakota there, and yeah. So after the show, I'm at a Panera Bread now. So I've just been sitting around and researching like newspapers, radio stations, podcasts for all the different shows that I'm playing all over the world.
Winnie Mays is Vermillion's full-service Aveda salon offering haircuts, hair coloring, and a hair and scalp spa for the entire family. We use the highest quality, cruelty-free Aveda products. Call 605-658-1234 or visit winniemays.com to schedule a visit and treat yourself beautiful.
Oh, snap. Let me backtrack a little bit. Do you remember like your first time doing like, getting on stage and how that was?
Oh, absolutely. So I was a teenager when my first time on stage, and I was playing with a band back then. And yeah, it was exhilarating. I knew from the first moment that I played music in front of an audience that was what I wanted to do. And, my band started getting bigger and bigger. And, we started playing, other cities in North Carolina. And then we branched out to other states. And then we started going on, we'd take vacations from our day jobs and go on tours, like 2-week tours up and down the East Coast. Like one tour, we'd go up to like New York and back, and another we'd go down to Florida and back. But it got to the point where it was like we were, had to make the choice, like, do we really want to do this full time? And I was the only one that really wanted to do it full time. So it kind of dissolved the band and became a solo artist.
How are you liking it so far? Like, do you love the job? Like what you're doing?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I do. Like I said, it's a lot of hard work. I mean, there's pretty much, I don't get a lot of downtime. Any free time I have, I'm really just, trying to promote my shows, book more shows. But, it is great. Like I said, just getting to meet so many different people and have like so many people enjoying my music. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. I'm on the Panera Wi-Fi, so maybe it chopped out. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. I'll hopefully everything should be fine. I'll fix it up. On my end, everything's fine. But
okay, good.
Yeah, but one thing though, I was wondering, are you familiar with the games Guitar Hero and Rock Band?
I am familiar with them, although I must say I've never played either one. I was at a party with a bunch of friends back when those first came out, and I was watching and I saw, it looks neat, but I've never actually played it.
Really? Oh man. Okay,
yeah.
Then it's not gonna work because I was gonna ask. I was like, how accurate is it? But I'm guessing it's not like complete. Well, because I think they only got like 5 buttons, and on a guitar it got.
Right. No, and I kind of saw what was going on there, and it's definitely it looked like it was fun, and like I said, it was a party, and it was kind of when those were first coming out. But I myself have not actually played it.
I think that's when. Because before that, I think when that came out, I want to say I was like around middle school, but I think, actually because of the games, that's when I became more familiar with, since I don't know what to call that. I guess it introduced me by that. It introduced me to like rock and roll, introduced me to like metal, alternative, stuff like that. And what I remember like the first time, like when we were playing it, it got me, there was a song called, like Living on a Prayer, that one, Eye of the Tiger. Oh, yeah. Then it introduced me to Metallica. There was another one that, Rock Band Beatles came out. And I didn't know nothing about the Beatles until I played that game. And I was like, hey, these songs are pretty good. Like, you feel me?
And that's why it's very cool, because it introduced a lot of people to like yourself included to a lot of music that they might not have otherwise heard. But yeah, no, I am definitely and I'm a I don't know if you've heard some of my songs, but I'm definitely a big proponent of video games. I think it's the hand-eye coordination, the fast reactionary time. I think it's definitely good for kids. I was like a Nintendo kid. So, and I think all that like quick reaction and hand-eye coordination helps me to like quickly find like things, find people's emails that I need to email to get gigs online. So it kind of, I actually, when I'm working on that, I'll put on some like Super Mario sound or Legend of Zelda soundtracks. And I'm just on my laptop. I'm like, let me just pretend this is a video game. And I'm sitting there trying to see if I can get to the links as quick as I can to get the work done that I need to do.
You are not the only one. And this is not a secret. I think I mentioned it once or twice. So I won't go too much into the topic. So I love video games. I think they're amazing. It's my passion. I love them. The music, I listen to that. And I'll tell you, I even did it today. This is what I do. So when I go to the gym in the mornings and people, they'll see, first of all, I don't know what it is with this gym at the university. The gym's great. The music they play is, I'm not trying to say it's bad, but it is like they go from, you're in a gym and they're playing. There was one time they were playing like the song from Justin Bieber, Baby. That it threw me off a bit. And then they played something about some Akon love, like a slow love music. I'm like, what? It threw me off. But I guess that's why people wear headphones. So, but this is what,
right?
Yeah. So I'm wearing headphones, and like people could kind of see me jamming out. And my playlist is, it goes up and down. But what I like to listen to, and I am completely honest with this, I listen to like Pokemon battle music. I don't know what it is, but like if you just play that, like if you're lifting and that song goes like, the intro, if anyone's played like a Pokemon game, once you enter like, a Pokemon battle, it goes like, no, and then it starts going, and I start jamming into that. And then you mentioned the Zelda stuff. Like I listened to the orchestra. I think it was for Skyward Sword or even like the new one, Breath of the Wild. I don't know what it is, but like even like video game music it's amazing.
It's great. And I've actually heard, or I read online that a lot of, college students like to listen to, especially the boss battle songs while they're studying, because it just activates that part of your brain that gets you focused and gets you like, that intense part of like really concentration. So when I read that, I was like, well, I'm going to start listening to boss battle video game music when I'm working on my booking and promotion online, because it takes a lot of concentration. So it's really coming in, and at the gym too, because as I have the Planet Fitness membership, and that's how I get showers on the road. And also, good to work out, and it always improves my attitude. So that's definitely part of my daily ritual is stopping at the gym. And now that you mention that, I'm going to have to bring my headphones in and listen to some video game music while I'm doing some lifting. That's a great idea.
So once or when you're on the road, how is it? Is it very tough to be on the road, especially like you mentioned, like when you go to the gym, that's where you'll shower, but also like eating, or I guess, I don't know. Well, I don't know if you have like a permanent spot, but when you're traveling, is it difficult, or what's the experience like?
So I've been doing it for so long that I think for me, it's just second nature, but I know a lot of people would consider it like a difficult life. When I was still playing with a band, when I started going on the longer tours, like 6 months, 8 months, band members would drop left and right. And that's another reason why I became a solo artist, because it's definitely not for everybody. But to me, I love it. I mean, I sleep in my car at rest areas, truck stops. And I just go from place to place, and I'm just used to it. It's just natural to me now, having been doing it like this for over 10 years. So I love it. But it's funny though. Every once in a while, I'll wake up and I'm like, wait a minute, what city I'm in? Oh yeah.
Well, you mentioned that you've been to like different cities. Is there one that you just enjoyed or you love? Maybe one that you're like, but what's the ones that you, I don't know, genuinely loved? Because you've been everywhere. I've been checking your tour stuff.
Well, thanks for checking that out. Honestly, I love like every city where I have an opportunity to perform. I always try to find something, great about every place I play. Like I love coming to South Dakota. The audiences there are always really great. And the show there at Ben's Brewing Company in Yankton, it's a place I played on my tour last year, so it'll be my second time there. And the audiences were great. I like I said, I try to find something, something good about every single tour stop I have. And, there's something great, whether it's like natural beauty or the culture in the different places I go to. There's just something great about every place I stop. I will have to say, going overseas is especially exciting. And asking about like maybe some of my favorites, I think like going to Asia and to Central America, I think were two of my favorite places to go, just because the food great, and it's really great to see and experience other cultures, I think.
Wow, so you even done international stuff, like how?
Oh yeah.
Well, okay, I'm gonna ask this. When you did it that first time, was it did you get like a culture shock? Did you notice anything different, or was it actually kind of the same? Or I guess everything could be different, but
Honestly, so the very first international tour I went on was to Greece. I was on an independent record label from Greece, so that was a total culture shock, especially because they don't even use like the Latin alphabet, so that definitely was a culture shock, and not a lot of people spoke English there. I've since done pretty much played every country in Europe, and there's a lot more people that speak English, but everywhere I go, I try to learn a little bit of the language so that when I'm on stage, I still sing my songs in English, but when I'm talking to the audience in between, I always like to speak in the native language of whatever country I'm in. And the audiences abroad seem to really appreciate that, even though I'm butchering the pronunciations on a lot of words. They're just, and I've had a lot of audience members be like, we really appreciate you took the effort to try to learn some of our language, which has been especially tricky in places like the Czech Republic and Poland. Those languages are a little tricky.
No, this is very common, and I'll give you my perspective as someone that speaks Spanish. Honestly, if someone is trying to speak it, even if like the pronunciation is kind of off, for me, I actually like it because you're trying to learn the language. Like I'm not going to judge you. Like, of course, it's fine. Learning a different language. Learning a language is hard. So for my end, and also like, and I've seen it too. Like sometimes when we go to Mexico, or there's people that, they're trying to speak Spanish to the people or to the locals. The locals. They do enjoy it because it's like a respectful thing. Hey, you're coming in here, learning the language will help you out. That part I do like a lot from you.
Indeed. Oh, well, and it's really good to hear. And it seems like most people have that, I'd even have like sometimes, especially once again, in like the Czech Republic and Poland and all the Slavic language countries, they'd correct me here and there. But yeah, no. And that's great. And I mean, and I think I like to give respect where respect's due. I mean, these places that I go to have given me a chance to share my craft. So the least I can do is try to learn a little bit. And I always like have a little cheat sheet too, right there with me to help me out.
Is there any like other countries that you would like to go, even perform or even just travel?
Oh, absolutely. One day I'd definitely like to make it to Antarctica.
Oh, snap.
To perform, or maybe even to just visit, because that is one place that's very hard to visit. I don't think you're allowed to visit. I've actually done some research on it unless you're actually working there. So I have reached out to some of the research bases down there. That's definitely one place. And also Australia, Africa, and South America are other continents I haven't been to yet. So they're definitely on the plan, on the horizon somewhere. Maybe not the near future, but definitely like to say I've performed on every continent in the world.
Oh, I want to backtrack on that Antarctica. I think I did hear about that. Something about you're not allowed to go there unless you do something with, you mentioned, I think, research, right?
Yeah, there are several research stations down there, and they do have shows there. I did look into it. So, basically, people can go down there and work for 6-month stints at a time. So before I started doing music full time, I did actually apply down there to work like as a maintenance worker. And then I saw, well, I can play shows on the weekend. I've since reached out to them just as a performer, but I'll keep asking them. If I don't, get a no from people, I keep asking, and that's pretty much how it is, and sometimes people admire the persistence and the perseverance too. And, there's even been some, radio stations or venues that I've been reaching out to for years, and they finally cave in and like, you know what, Bryan, we admire your persistence. We will give you that show after emailing us for 3 years.
No, I think people don't realize like the work people put in, like especially if they're doing something on their own or solo, or they're self-employed. Like stuff is hard, and I don't want to get too off topic because it's not this isn't about me. Like even like for example, I know people have been asking like, for example, this show that I got right now. I'm not saying it's popular, nothing like that. I actually have low expectation on the stuff. And I've noticed like here in the Vermillion or in the area, it's been growing and this and that. And like, I remember like, I swear like it just happened in March. When I uploaded my first episode, I just did it like in some random room with some Bluetooth like microphones. And I was like, let me just press the record. Let's see what I do. And then it started gaining this and that. And like, for example, getting guests, and you were mentioning like, hey, just asking. I think that's a trait that people need to do, because like, for example, like guests, I will, for some reason in the beginning, I guess I was just expecting people to just come, but they don't know. So I'm like, you know what, let me start asking. And then it works. They ask. I've had in the beginning a bunch of no's, which is respectable. But then now lately it's been like, yeah, or like, hey, this and that. And then I've had a few people, like people reach out, like yourself and other ones. And it's been exciting. Like you kind of see yourself growing. And that's what I saw like on like your music. And I saw the videos too, like one of your videos with the Mario one. Cause I think it's the gaming part. But you gotta tell me, how did that plan out? Like, how do you do that? How did you do that music video?
Well, I'm a huge stop motion animation fan. So, it used a green screen, of course, to project the video game behind when I was playing. But then the stop motion stuff, I'm just, got the little figurines there. Click, take a picture, move them a little bit, click, take another picture. So it's definitely a time-consuming process. But I mean, once you get to the end and the finished product and it looks decent, it's a real feeling of accomplishment. And yeah, that's definitely one of the songs people have really enjoyed. That's definitely one of the more popular songs. I'm Your Super Mario.
I do like it. I don't know if it's because of the Mario thing. The music, I do.
Thank you.
Know. I'll put when I upload this, I'll add all the links, everything that you got, so people could check it out. Which also brings me to the next thing. You're coming to Yankton. Do you got more info on that?
Oh yeah, it's February 8th. Ben's Brewing Company. It's all ages. So that's a Saturday night, and the show is going to be 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And like I said, I played there in Yankton, South Dakota last year at Ben's, and it was a really fun place. I got to meet Ben, and he is a really nice guy, and was very excited when I reached out, and he said, "Yeah, we'll have you back on the next tour." So I'm really excited to come back to that part of South Dakota down there.
See, now I need to go check it out. The brewery. I think I've been at actually my whole life too. There's one in Sioux Falls that they did some type of, or a friend of ours, they had their little baby shower, and that was the first time. I think that was either the first or second time I went to it. The other one is like they opened up a brewery here in town. I'm gonna say like I think just last year. And now that you mentioned the Yankton one at Ben's, I'm like, man, I probably should head out there too. Now I'm curious. Like, a little about myself. I don't drink, and it's not like a choice. I just never drank before. But usually the good thing is like a lot of them have like either they have like Cokes or they'll have like non-alcoholic stuff. My wife, I'm not saying she's a drinker. She loves it. She loves to drink a lot. So usually that's when we'll head out there. But now I'm kind of curious about Ben's. You mentioned it's a pretty nice place.
It is. And I do believe they have some non-alcoholic options as well there too. So, there's something the non-drinkers there also.
So when you do a show, or like when you try to get booked for a show, like what's the process? What's the process like? You just reaching out to people, say, hey, can I play for this or on this date, or how does it work for you?
Well, yeah, I pretty much, I do my research. I have over the years, I've got a little database of venues, and I try to just cover my bases, and I kind of go one state at a time. I like to offer several dates and be a little flexible with my availability. Yeah, I just pretty much reach out and, uh, offer dates, and I just go state by state. Like South Dakota, I pretty much reached out to uh, a large number of venues, and I see like what comes back. And people say no, that's okay, because every no is one step closer to yes. As one band that really inspired me when I was first getting started. They said every no is one step closer to yes. So, but I send a link to my music, a little my resume, my short bio, kind of similar to the stuff that I sent you, and people usually either say. Well, all right, we'll have you on this date, and that's great, but yeah, it's just it's a persistence thing, and I'm continually trying to just get to new cities and get back to the cities that have had me several times. That's why I'm like I said, very excited to get back to Yankton and just building up what I do, and I just try to make every single show a success.
Have you ever performed in Texas?
Oh, many times. That's actually one of my. I do very well in that state. It's interesting. Some states they get me a little bit more than others, and Texas is one that's been really really good for me. Amarillo and the Houston area, I've been doing well there. Austin, San Antonio. So yeah, I played quite a few shows in Texas.
Oh snap! Have you ever performed, or do you have future plans like performing in the Dallas-Fort Worth area? That's where I'm from. That's what I was just asking.
Oh, very cool. I actually, and I'm very sad because the place I was performing regularly at a place in Richardson, Texas, which is pretty close to Dallas. There was a great place called Six Springs Tavern, and they just closed. So I got to find a new Dallas area home. But yeah, no, love Dallas. Well, another great place where audiences have been really receptive and really welcoming.
Wow. Okay. You know what's funny though? Like, I know a lot of people are like, especially now, people are heading to Texas. They're moving into Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth area, Houston, Austin. They're going to places. And I've been in South Dakota for, I'm gonna say 4 years, almost 4 years, something like that. And I don't miss it until the summer we went over there. No, my bad, not the summer, Thanksgiving. We went over Thanksgiving. And man, I don't know what it is. Maybe I just got used to like living in a small town now. Because when I went back to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I was like blown. I was like, whoa, it's a lot of people, and then a lot of buildings, and I just realized, I'm like, there's so much stuff to do. I'm not saying, and then where I live right now in Vermillion, I'm not saying that the town there's nothing to do, but it's a smaller town. So,
I get that 100%. And honestly, I love small towns. I love the vibe of small towns. Me being from Charlotte, is the city's really blown up. Like every time I'm only there a few weeks out of the year, but it seems like, just like you say, there's new buildings that weren't there when I left. The traffic's heavier. So I definitely get that. I do like a small town vibe.
Oh man, I'm telling you, that traffic when we crossed that, like, I swear, like during Thanksgiving, we drove this time. I think we only flew once, but we drove from South Dakota all the way to Texas, and then everything's fine. It's just for some reason, a bunch of corn. And we crossed, there was Windstar in Oklahoma, and then right when we crossed Oklahoma, I don't know what it was. We just hit so much traffic. I'm like, there's the Texas traffic. And then you got cars just driving left, right, speeding and this and that. And I was like, I don't know how to explain it. I think, like, for example here, I won't go too much on this topic, but like living in a small town, first of all, there's no traffic. The town is like, they say it's like 10,000 people, but I live in a college town. So like in the summer, it's cut in half. Man, it is so nice. Like even to work, like before when I was in Texas, you know, you drive to, like I was living in Fort Worth, I had to drive to like Irving or Arlington, this and that. And it's like with traffic, you're there for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. It could be like an hour. Here, man, I drive and it's like 5 minutes. If I ride my bike, it's like 2 minutes. So I'm like, man, the small town it's actually pretty nice.
It definitely has its advantages. Yeah, totally. And once again, like, you know, going through when I was so the tour actually just started earlier this week. So I spent, you know, several weeks home in Charlotte, and I was like, wow, the traffic, it's like the rush hour never stops. There's, you know, rush hour starts at like 2 p.m.
Is there any other places like in the States that you haven't performed that you want to go to?
Alaska is the one state that I have not performed in. So I definitely going to make some plans in the future to go there. Not sure exactly when it's going to be, but they're on the list for sure, since it's the only one I haven't been to. I even got to Hawaii in 2023, which is really exciting.
How was Hawaii? I've never been there.
It was amazing. It's beautiful. So technically it was a week off in between tours. I had some family there that I was visiting, but I had to book a show while I was there so I could, you know, cross it off the list of places that I've played.
To celebrate our first year anniversary on March 1st, we are giving away a $50 Visa gift card. Head to the link in the description to enter, and winner will be announced on March 1st. Oh, snap. Okay. I haven't done much traveling. Actually, I don't. So I've been to Mexico, you know, family's in Mexico, so I've been there. And then like in the state, it was just Texas. I don't want to count like Nebraska and where I drove, because technically I wasn't like there. I just drove past it. Oh, I guess Nebraska, I've been to Omaha. So I've been to South Dakota, but I've never been to like, it would be kind of cool going to, I don't know, check out New York or Florida or somewhere in Chicago, or even like you were mentioning, like Alaska. I'm like, Alaska, that seems very, actually kind of cool. Like, I wouldn't mind going to Alaska.
It looks exciting, and just geographically, it's, you know, a little tricky to get back and forth from there. And like I said, it was kind of serendipitous that it was kind of like a family vacation that turned into like a little miniature tour in Hawaii. But yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, getting to see all the different places around the country and the world. That's like, you know, getting from point A to point B is just as much fun as the performances are for me.
So I know you're an artist, you're traveling, you're performing, it looks amazing. But after that, like, what do you do on your downtime or hobbies, or is it just all music, or I don't know, what else do you like?
I don't get too much downtime. When I do, like I said, I love video games. I love like outdoors activities, and that's something I get to do when I have downtime on the road. I'll do some camping or hiking. Also love martial arts. I practice Tai Chi, so that's another thing there. And like I mentioned, going to the gym, that's something else. So I do have like a few non-music related interests, but for the little bit of downtime that I get. And yeah, it's stuff like that, especially like the exercise and the martial arts. It keeps me grounded, keeps my attitude in the right place, because, sometimes things get hectic on the road, and it's just good to, really have like a base, healthy lifestyle to help you manage all the things that can happen on rock and roll tours.
Man, it sounds very, very fascinating. Like I don't know how to play an instrument. I think middle school I played the French horn. So I have no idea how to play an instrument, but I admire, like, especially, people that play guitar, piano, or the drums. I'm like, man, how do you learn? I'm asking you, Bryan, like, learning an instrument, is it like just, I don't know, do you have to be like a prodigy, or Is it possible to learn it?
I don't think so. I mean, I was pretty terrible when I first picked up the guitar, and I'm self-taught. I bought a book. My dad played, and he taught me a few chords, but basically self-taught, and I just put the hours in. And I think that's my advice to anybody that wants to, take it up, or even, when it gets later in the game, like me doing it now, like, as a job. I mean, you just put the hours in and you do the work. When I was a teenager, I played guitar about 5 or 6 hours a day, every day for a good solid 6 months until I was like a little bit good after the 6 months. So, and I think a lot of people, are maybe a little, have unrealistic expectations that they're going to sound the way they want to after, a few days or a few weeks of practice. But it literally was like, almost a full year of just like practicing, 4, 5, 6 hours a day. And just, if you put that kind of dedication into anything, I think, anybody can, do the things they want to do. And I'm just lucky I did it when I was a teenager and I actually had the spare time to pick it up and do it. No jobs or anything like that to hinder my free time to get that, work on that.
So it's never too late. So even like,
no doubt,
me right now, if I wanted to, and like you're saying, put the time in, it's still possible to learn guitar or learn an instrument.
Yeah. And once again, I think persistence is just the key, even if you only have an hour to dedicate to it a day, just make sure you always dedicate that hour, whether you're tired or, maybe at a bad day, you still do that work. Okay.
Is there any like for people that, they want to do this, they want to perform, they want to be on their own, they want to, become that star. Is there like advice that you would give them, or like, advice or something like, hey, you should do this or this, or,
Absolutely. I mean, and in addition to for one thing, just persistence and putting the hours in, don't let anybody's rejections deter your resolve at all. I mean, I've had a lot of people tell me that I wasn't good or they didn't like me or my music, but you can't let things like that affect your attitude, and you just have to remember that everybody's different. And if you get rejections from people, not to let it bother you, because everyone's different. There might be one person that treats you poorly, but that's just a bridge on the way to the meeting the people that will treat you kindly and appreciate what you do. So yeah, just dedication and keep a good attitude, even if people are not treating you, the way you would want to be treated, and just, try to ignore those people when I come across them. Luckily, I don't come across that too much, but when I do, I just turn the other way and, go on with my day without letting it, bother me. And yeah, that's the advice I'd give to people.
Man, are you sure you don't want to be like also a motivational speaker or a therapist? Because I'm telling you, like the stuff you're giving me, I'm like, you're pumping me up. I want to pick up the guitar now and try to be an artist or something like that.
Well, thanks. So thanks a bunch. So, and that's great too. And luckily I get to meet a lot of younger musicians that ask me some of those questions. So it always makes me feel real good to, tell them the things, that I think will help. So that's cool. Glad to hear that.
So this is, I think we're getting close to the time. So this is just all about you. Is there any things, last stuff, or any info that we should know? Like, just tell me.
Oh, absolutely. If anybody wants to find out more about my music, my website is bryansuperhappyfuntime.com. And that's Bryan with a Y. So, tour calendar, links to YouTube channel and Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. Full tour calendar, different newspaper articles, radio interviews, podcast interviews. I post all those there. So anyone that wants to know more should go visit that. And no, I think we covered all the bases. And thank you so much, Jose, for having me on the show. It's been a pleasure to talk with you.
It's been great, and I'm just so ecstatic that you contacted me. But you know what? Before we end it, there is one last thing one last question, and I do want to ask, is there like a goal for you? Like, what do you is there like something you want to be doing, or I don't know, like I don't know, what can you tell me about that?
That's a good question. I mean, honestly, in a way, I've kind of reached my goal. I mean, maybe to just keep doing what I'm doing, just, keep reaching out to, finding, new places to play, meeting new people, and just spreading the word about my music. So pretty much just keep doing what I'm doing, and just, maybe someday it'd be great to like hire some people to do more of the business stuff. So, maybe someday I can afford to like hire a press agent or a booking agent. I do have a few friends that help me out with things here and there, but it's pretty much me pulling all the strings as far as the business side goes. So maybe, get to the point where I could have some more help and have more of a team instead of being like a one-man show. But other than that, I mean, I'm kind of doing, my goal right now, and I guess the goal now is to keep doing it. Is kind of what it is.
I like that. I'm telling you, you gotta be a motivational speaker or something. This is great. I'm telling you, you're very positive on this stuff, and you motivate me. But I think this is where we end it. I should have that outro music playing right now, but I do want to thank you so much, Bryan, for being on the show.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Like I said, it's been a real pleasure talking to you, and I appreciate your help getting the word out about my show there.
All right. Thank you.